Hey guys, this is my transgender V6 Mustang. Yeah, my Mustang's woke now. I'm just kidding. Let me show you. So through the process of me diddling around, I somehow stuck a 302 into this thing. Now, that's just how it's gonna be. I mean, we're already this far, might as well complete the project. I get about 4 or 5 things, maybe 6 or 7 things that we need to get done on this in order for it to go on its first test drive. Now, this is very exciting news from me building this block straight up from block to engine to inside the vehicle to actually being able to run. And I'll show you guys that real soon. I'll show you what it sounds like. It sounds great. Anywho, right now, what we got right now is we're working on getting the alternator to work with this. Now, for some diddly-daddly reason, the V8 bracket for the alternator and tensioner doesn't quite want to bolt up to the 302 head. I don't know why, and I'm not very happy about it because now I have to make something in order for it to fit. And it also gets in way of the heater hoses from over there, which I'm gonna want heat in this damn thing. Anywho, after dilly-dallying, like I said, doing some things tonight. Now this might not be a Boss 302, but it's gonna have substantial power and torque. Let's say 210 at the high horsepower, 210, 230. Give or take 300 pounds of torque, which is way more than what the V6 had. The V6 had 190, 225. Putting that number up 100, that's gonna feel a little different. Now, my plans for this car is I'm gonna keep it for a little bit, make it like kind of like a build. Well, no shit. I mean, I didn't do all this for no reason. This has been a journey for, like, it seriously has been. I'm not even done. I'm not even close to being done. I haven't even touched the suspension, the rear end, the transmission. I'm planning on the transmission to break. I haven't even barely even touched the engine. Give or take, I built it. I built it from the block. I put the bearings in, I put the crank in, I've torqued everything, I've done everything hopefully correctly. It starts too, and it runs. But it won't run very long without coolant, charge, some more coolant. So we gotta figure them things out. My fan's up to like a switch or a relay or something cool, make it kind of like a race car or something. I don't want to spend money on a thermostat switch. So yeah, we're gonna have to get started on that later. I just want to drive this thing already. I mean, come on. So let's go ahead and get this alternator bracket made up and this tensioner bracket made up. Let's go ahead and have some fun stuff going on. Getting some nuts and bolts to make this alternator bracket. Little tip trick. Stuff the nuts and bolts in your pocket and you get them for free. Just kidding, I paid for them, don't worry. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started on mounting up this alternator bracket. You know, I was gonna do power steering. You know, like one of these doohickeys. I ordered the extra pulley for it. Fuck it. No power steering for this guy, because these are the brackets for it and they're seized. I don't feel like doing that. Let's get to mocking some things up. We might have to make a bracket for one of them. And now that I'm thinking about it, I need 4 bolts for that. We're good. We'll be fine. First order of business is seeing what Santa gave us. Santa gave us his nut. Santa gave us a lot of nuts. So let's go ahead and, I don't know why I did this. I don't know why Santa did this, because Santa's totally real, kiddos. Up here. And there goes 55 cents. Boom, 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 boom. And bazinga. Whoa, where'd this one come from? Anywho, we got our bolts and nuts. Let's go ahead and start mocking some things up real quick. All right, we got some bullshit aligned up, ready for us to put together. Stop moving. So we're gonna go with this one. Probably should make sure it threads through first before I lose my marble. Threads enough, you know. I go by the old saying, if it threads in hard the first time, it's just nature's lock tight. Put a bolt in there? No. You know what? There we go. Good enough. Put the alternator on, put the bolt on. Let's get to it. I'm just kidding. Anyways. Woo! Getting some shit done now, eh? I'm turning into a Canadian now, but in that not like that. So, what we're gonna do, we're gonna flip this down over here. Flip our little ratchet here. We're gonna pop our ground out. Something. Act like I said something funny. Okay, so I might have a problem. My heater hoses are right here and the bracket's in the way of them. So I might have to put the heater hoses on first before I do much else. Show Poppy some love. Oh, baby. Why couldn't God bless me with skinnier hands? Oh yeah, he wanted women to love me. Oh my God. All right, well, time to get an extension. I got the Extendinator 67. Okay, Mr. Tensioner, you gotta swivel on out of here, man. Okay. Now we got that. So, graceful 6 feet of hose. So, let's go ahead and throw some hose on here. All right, let's go throw some hose on here. Right here. Nice and firm. And I don't know if it's gonna be enough. We're just gonna have to, actually, let's just do the bottom one first. Let's just, give me it back. I could probably do the top one when the bracket's on, but the bottom one, I'm just saving myself the pain. Okay, what is going on? Right here, and get this light. Okay, come on now, mister. Mister, I'm telling you to stop it. God, I can't see anything. Stop. Trucker. All right, here we go. So you rotate this hose this way. You goddamn light. Fuck you. We're just not gonna see anything then. Massive kink. Massive. All right. So is it a bad thing? Would it be a sin to grind this down on a bench grinder? You guys ever seen some movie magic? Watch this. Bang, bang, bang. Wow, cool transition. Wow. Okay, I hit it with the, bench grinder. And it doesn't really kink the hose as bad as it once did. Oops. Well, that can't be good. See, I quite knew something like this might happen. Yeah. All right. Well, we don't have the right bolts. We have the right kind of thread, just not the right diameter. Hey, we got the right bolts this time. They're a little bit thicker, and they actually thread into here. Now that bottom thread's a little messed up, but a little bit of force will get this bad boy in there. So yeah, we're gonna get this little alternator bracket with these 2 bolts real quick. Mount up another bracket maybe, I don't know yet. It depends on how tight I can get these 2 bolts. I tell you, son, whoo! you know, we got that gold hardware on there, you know, we're bougieing out. Whew. Anyways, let's go ahead and put the alternator on and go grab us a string. We'll have to figure out what kind of belt length we want. And I don't know about this tensioner. We'll have to see with all this. We'll have to see what we want to do. We're gonna have to keep it out of the way of the, because the radiator hose actually goes like this. So we'll have to see about this whole little setup right here, see how it works. We temporarily got the alternator on just to check how much of a difference there is, and there's not much. This is the V6 alternator, so, and it's on a V8 bracket. So it is having some clearancing issues down in there. But right now, this is good enough for me to be able to get my measurement for my belt and get it ordered. I don't want to do this anymore. I had to take those bolts out, and they keep on cross-threading, but they're not cross-threading. They're just hard to put in. Anywho, we just got to hook our ground back up. Belt. We should just be able to throw a belt on this, and it should be good. Should be able to go on its first test drive after we get the throttle bracket made up. What's going on, my dudes? So today is a new day, a new sleigh. So yesterday we got the alternator on, and as you can see here, it doesn't quite line up. So we got two options. We can smack the crank pulley with a hammer and hope to God that we don't go too far and it hits the timing chain, because right now I'm at kind of a problem where the timing chain is going against the block and it causes the motor to seize up. If I put the crank pulley in too far, because it's not the right crank pulley for the engine, it lines up and everything, it's just too long. We can space out the alternator, but the problem with that is this is a 2 bracket, so it has 2 brackets and the alternator goes in the middle, and then there's a spacer. Well, see, if we knock this spacer out of here, we might be able to actually either cut this off and just have it so it's bolt mounted, and then we have full adjustability from this one and this one, where we could put, you know, 1/2 inch of spacers right here and 1/2 inch of spacers right here, and it should give us, give or take, the same amount. But I don't know. I don't know what I want to do yet. I kind of want to just run it with that and see if I can just, you know, go to like a 4 rib, like order a 6 rib and then cut 2 ribs out of it and just have it on a 4 rib and just have it going like that. Go ahead and grab a level. So this is going to be our straight edge. If we line that up right here, we're almost to it. Barely have any gap. So I have a feeling that we'll just be able to cut some ribs out of the belt and just run it like that. Power steering wise, I have decided to go with no power steering, unless the car is that bad without power steering. So I'm going to go ahead and get a good measurement of the alternator, tensioner, water pump, and crank pulley. I'm going to get a good measurement of this. I'm going to measure it, order my belt, and then I'm going to reroute the heater hose. Since I cut it last time, I messed with it. Whenever I pulled the motor out, I cut the heater hoses, not thinking about how I wanted to do this later. Yeah. Day number 3 of getting the Mustang to run. We got some new parts now. So we got another heater hose so we can route it how we want to. We got our belt. Haven't tried it yet. Hopefully it fits. And we got our power steering pump pulley. I don't really need it since I'm not running power steering. But you know, it doesn't hurt to have that. So let's go ahead and get this belt on to the Mustang. See if this will fit. If it doesn't, I'm gonna cry tears. Actual, real alligator tears. All right, let's go ahead and take ourselves a looky here. Gonna get our tensioner undone tensioned. Go ahead and take our belt and see if it'll fit. Beautiful. It doesn't work. Okay, so while I'm waiting for O'Reilly's to get my belt ready, we're gonna get the distributor and hopefully the heater hose is all plumbed and routed. We gotta think of a throttle cable, linkage, whatever. I'm thinking, I don't know, throw something together. Yeah, let's go ahead and see what we can do. Alrighty guys, so we got a new belt. It's a 50-inch belt, right? You know, I was thinking, you know, a 3-inch difference couldn't be that much. It's quite a big difference. So, what we got here is our 50-inch belt. Now, clearly, even with the tensioner all the way down, it has a lot more room. So, what I'm gonna do, instead of getting the correct belt, make myself a little bracket that'll pull this alternator from here to about here, and that'll move the pulley just enough so I can get the tensioner up and get the belt on. So now we have our little piece right here that we can go bolt on real quick. Okay, I got an idea of the bracket that I want to make. So we got a really long bolt nut. This is the only one I could find that was like the correct size. So basically it's so that way the alternator, I can set the bracket like this, and it is bent a little bit, but I just smack it down. I got my mark for where I need to drill my hole at for the other bolt, and let's go ahead and get this on real quick. And there we go. She's on. Nice and good. Still some slack, not enough for anything to spin. This is a little off, but that's no biggie. If it really mattered to me that much, I would just take the bell off and take these bolts out and put, like, I don't know, 3 spacers in there. So we can finally start putting this together. So what we gotta do is distributor, heater hoses, radiator, and throttle plate, which I got a little thing for that. You guys want to see the first startup and coolant run and burping the coolant and everything like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and... Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you 302 Mustang, AKA MOO-Stang. You can kind of see it. Anywho, she's all buttoned up. She runs, she drives. I had a little problem with the clutch. Back when I had the turbo build, the header was actually flipped around, and it burnt a hole. As you can see right here, I had to just patch it up with a hose clamp, but it burnt a hole in the damn, clutch cable. And the clutch cable has a metal wire, a stranded metal wire all the way around it, keeps it stiff, right? Well, if you burn through that rubber that keeps the metal wire tight, well, what it basically did was it would go and scrunch up. So you had about half the pedal engaging, and the rest was just a dead zone where it was just, you could just flop it around. So that was making it really hard to shift. Another thing that I noticed when I was driving is we did not get full throttle control. So this was only going about to here. And really, you have all that you can use. There's more to it, but the spring is really heavy. So I got to make a little thing for this where this cable pulls on a lever, and the lever is actually a little bit longer, just so we can get the full throttle. That'll make it a lot easier. Then I can just put a bolt through the lever, and then I can just tie this off just the same exact way I did this. She's charging, which is good. I just had it running for a little bit. She's staying cool, nice and cool. Yeah, radiator is pretty cold. I'm pretty hyped about this now, hey. Just had my dad with me to help me figure out some other issues. Just something with the starter. The starter was not actually starting. It would click the relay, but it was just a ground issue, you know, them grounds, them little gremlins. Alrighty, ladies and dickheads. She runs and drives and leaks. So I took it on a test drive yesterday. I mean, it's been 2 days since the last time I filmed. Not much has changed, other than the fact of it has coolant in it and the gas problem is fixed. But yeah, it was leaking from the heater hoses, obviously. So we put some hose clamps on there. And then just to be safe, we're going to route a overfill. So we're going to be going from this little thingy right here, this little hose, and we're going to be coming all the way across here. We're going to be taking our Propel bottle right here. So you can see it has a little slit in there for a pressure release. So you can relieve the pressure while it's pulling out and sucking back in and pulling out and sucking back in. But yeah, I'm excited. All right. So we got our overflow all mocked up and zip tied. Just a little temporary, you know, nothing too special. It'll get the job done. Hopefully whenever I start this thing, my little temperature gauge will actually work inside of there. I don't know why it's not. Yeah, but for some reason she doesn't want to work. I had to drain some of the coolant out because I only put one bottle of the ready to use and the rest was water. So I drained like half of it out and then used ultra strength, which is the stuff that's not pre-diluted. And I filled that with 1 gallon, filled it in some of the overflow so that way it gets mixed in there. And then I had to just put like a little bit of water. All right, let's go ahead and start her up. We got done with our first test drive now. Woo! She's getting a little smoky. I'm able to touch this and it's cold. So our overflow did not work. She drove good. She drove great. I did flood it at the gas station. It was a little embarrassing because I'm sitting there cranking. But, you know, other than that, it starts up every time. Great power, great power, actually, very good power. I couldn't be more happy with how much power it has. Temperature gauge still doesn't work. I think it's going to be a ground issue. Speaking of that, I could probably fix that right now. But yeah. Now I do see a few puddles underneath here, but I think that was past Daniel whenever he was either putting oil in this thing or coolant in this thing. But yeah, drove good, little noise in the transmission, but that'll self-clearance. Dan, the best man ever. All right, so yesterday we found out that the overflow didn't work. Today we're gonna be installing the stock overflow. So after my select choice of words, I can't get the bottom bracket in. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to just run it and hope that it doesn't fall. Totally sturdy. It's not going to fall at all. It's not going to fall, I swear. Oh yeah, the exhaust is so fucked up. It just scrapes on everything. Yeah, so we're gonna have to hold you here. But yeah, that exhaust just scrapes on fucking everything. It's like I'm a stance car, but with no stance. It is. So, yeah. But whenever the time comes, I'm gonna fix that bolt. Tonight's not the night though. We're gonna turn right. I hate this light, man. Especially with how my throttle is. Cruising in 4th gear, so that the gearing on it is so low. I'm pretty sure it has like 323s. I need to get like 373s. I mean, shit. This ain't very fun. Hard to drive manual and hold your phone at the same time. With no power steering either. We definitely have an exhaust leak of some kind. Oh! We also got an exhaust scrape by. Oh! 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 God, dude, I need to get this. I got my second exhaust now, so luckily, whenever the time comes or whenever I'm able to rent out someone's lift, I'll be able to, you know, not scrape everywhere. But as the time being, I'm gonna be scraping. I need to get a new shifter, dude. It's messed up. The threads are all messed up because I just had a bolt and nut in it. So much more torqueier, man. That scraping noise is gonna get to me though. Luckily I know exactly what's scraping. It's part of a dump, which I don't really need. So, you know how it is. I just hope the welds don't break with my $200 Harbor Freight welder. That would not be fun. But yeah, we might do a little burnout here and break the transmission maybe. We'll just have to see now. I'm gonna have to somehow make this turn. Oh man, I hate this. I hate the no power steering, but it's a lot simpler. All right, let's go ahead and give her some beans now. Hey, look, a Corvette. All right. Woo! Oh yeah. Woo! Smells like burnt rubber, baby. Yeah. Or nothing. And it's scraping. Woohoo! Yeah. This is amazing, actually. I don't like this. Well, I do. I love it. It's awesome, but I don't. Because I don't like hearing the scraping noise every 2 fucking seconds. Every tiny little bump. Every tiny little bump is straight fucking nonsense. But god damn does she lay down, boy. Holy fuck. I've yet to see if this thing actually produces any smoke when it does a burnout. Whenever we hit second, we went sideways, boys. And I'm not even kidding. Yeah. can do another burnout here. Chirping in third, baby, chirping in third. Shit. Yeah, buddy. Come on, baby. All right, get ready for the scrape-a-thon. Here we go. Oh, it hurts my soul every time. Oh. Now. Oh yeah, look at that. She's all warmed up and she's ready for a fight, bud. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely not permanent. We're gonna have to figure something out. That's too much of a hazard for me, especially with the way I drive, which you guys just saw. Yeah. Not much complaints other than the exhaust and some more exhaust. Yeah, we'll go get some washers for that, and then Wednesday we'll have another fan, so we don't have to worry about overheating. We'll get our thermostat, which will make that gauge work right there. We'll get a tachometer, which is super easy. I mean, it's just literally, I think, one wire and a ground. Checking for leaks, and it actually doesn't seem like there's any. And this overflow tank is cold. And I'm guessing since we have no thermostat, it just doesn't need it. It doesn't have enough pressure to actually push out towards that. So, yeah. Hopefully we get this installed here soon. Because it's a skinnier exhaust. So I have a Flowmaster and one of them Dynamax ones. So hopefully this weekend or something, I'll prop the car up and pull the exhaust out and actually route like a decent exhaust. I'll have to go get some exhaust piping from O'Reilly's. We all know how those are. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, I'd rather go get it from O'Reilly's than not have it because I ordered it online and it doesn't ship out very, very fast. But yeah. That concludes today's video filming. Goodbye.